Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning, and we have a special guest today. Mike Johnson has been with us before from SCORE. Good morning.
Good morning.
So excited always to hear about what this amazing organization is doing for our community. First, for people who might not be familiar with SCORE, Mike, and not too many are because you do an awesome job of marketing it. But remind us again, just what is SCORE? What do you do?
Sure. Well, SCORE is not a newbie. It was founded 52 years ago. And the chapter here in Canton, which is one of more than 300 chapters around the country, was founded in 1980. First as a branch of Akron, and then as a standalone chapter beginning in 1990. SCORE initially was an acronym that stood for Service Corps of Retired Executives, but as time went by and more SCORE members were not retired, it no longer was regarded as an acronym, and it's just plain SCORE now. Our mission is to provide counsel to small businesses. They could be for-profits, they could be nonprofits, they could be startups, they could be existing businesses that see an opportunity to grow but need some help in figuring out exactly how to do it, or facing a problem and need some help solving it. We provide our counsel at no cost, which is appealing to many people, and all the counseling is confidential. As a 501c3 charitable organization, we do need funds to operate effectively and successfully. And thankfully, there are entities who believe in our mission and do support us. They include area foundations, as well as some banks, accounting firms, law firms, people who see the value in a strong and vibrant small business community.
And that value is evident in, let's not be shy here about what a good job you're doing. Last year you received a pretty good award.
Yeah, we did. And to put it in perspective, again, there are more than 300 chapters around the country, and 4 times in recent years we were named the District Chapter of the Year, a district that embraces 11 chapters in Ohio and Pennsylvania. And then last year, we were pleased to be informed that we had been voted by SCORE's National Advisory Board as the National Chapter of the Year. So it was gratifying
I would think so.
To learn that our efforts were being recognized.
Well, congratulations
Thank
for that.
you.
And those efforts are amazing. Your membership is growing. The number of workshops you offer is growing. Let's talk about that a little.
All right. Yes, when I joined SCORE, 9 years ago this month, actually, I think we had about 20 members in the chapter, and it was a good chapter. Today we have 40, and we have a goal by the end of the year of reaching 44 members. When I started, we weren't doing workshops, but now this year we're on track to do more than 50 of them.
Wow.
On a range of topics. We do them on cash management, starting a business, social media marketing, grant writing, cybersecurity, virtually any aspect of operating a business that would be of concern to the owners or the managers.
I think let's go back, because you did say the counsel you get is completely free of charge. This is extremely valuable counsel and the best in the country, as evidenced by the recent award.
Right.
So who are the people, when a person has got an idea and they'd like to start up, who are we being counseled by?
Well, that is an excellent question, and most often it is not by one of us. We generally work in teams. Usually we start with, say, 2 of us, a lead counselor and a co-counselor. And what we do is we match what we perceive to be a new client's needs with the expertise that we possess. And it's difficult for anyone to cite any aspect of running any kind of a business for which we do not have expertise in that chapter. You name any element of business, and we've likely got it covered. Sometimes, though, the number of members working with the client grows as we learn more about a client's needs. And I personally have assembled teams as large as 6 of us to work with a client who has more complex issues that need addressing. It might, for example, include manufacturing, technology, accounting, marketing, and so on, and we'll bring to bear people in our chapter who have the relevant expertise. And in fact, one thing worth mentioning is that about a year ago, within our chapter, we formed a team called FACT, which stands for Finance and Accounting Counseling Team. Consists of, at the moment, I think it's 3 CPAs and 2 bankers. So if somebody has clearly a financial situation, we can bring a lot of experience and expertise to bear on that situation.
So you're not just getting a buddy or a mentor. You're getting a team of experts.
We are. And of course, there are occasions when we get a new SCORE client who comes in, meets with us once, and walks out smiling thinking, okay, I've learned everything I need to learn. But what we really appreciate and value are those clients who see us as ongoing mentors. I just got an email over the weekend from one of my clients who's been with me for about the last 4 years. And if I checked our operating system, I would see that we've probably counseled 25 times or so over the years. We serve as mentors, but serving as a mentor can mean on occasion serving as a sounding board. A client calls us, hey, we've been working on this or that, but hey, I've got this idea. What do you think? Well, we will give it some thought, and we will get back with our thinking on those kinds of issues. So we encourage ongoing relationships with SCORE clients, and we have a lot of those kinds of relationships.
And it never costs a fee.
Never. And the 2015 is the year for which we were voted the National Chapter of the Year. And during that year, we did more than 700 in-person counseling sessions. And I underscore in-person because we also do counseling via email and by telephone. Now, we do want, as much as possible, we want those initial counseling sessions to be in person, although sometimes we will be assigned a client who's way out of our usual coverage area, but they're assigned to us by SCORE headquarters because of a certain expertise that we might have in our chapter. So we could wind up counseling somebody in Nome, Alaska, and we would do that via email. Mm-hmm. But in-person counseling, we did more than 700 such sessions during 2015. And I was really pleased to look at what we call our key performance indicators just last week. Our fiscal year ends on September 30th, so the numbers I was looking at are current through August 31st, in other words, 11 months of that fiscal year. We're actually on track to exceed the total services we provided during the 2015 year, for which we were named National Chapter of the Year.
So you're doing better than that.
By a couple percentage points. Now, we're not talking about another 30% increase over that.
That's impressive, though.
But it looks like we're going to come in a little bit more than we did last year. Not that we expect to be named National Chapter of the Year again, because in the 52-year history of SCORE, no chapter has ever been voted National Chapter of the Year consecutively. And that simply goes to a desire by the SCORE headquarters and its advisory board to recognize chapters from large cities, from smaller cities, from different geographic regions, and so on. But we can still sit back and say, we did a little bit better than the year for which we were recognized nationally.
That's right. You topped last year's national champs, even though they happen to be you. Yeah, right. So do you have any idea of what the economic impact on our community is that you're making?
There's we can't go to some office and say, can you measure this in concrete numerical terms? But we do have evidence, and the most visible evidence occurs every December when, as we have done now for the past 7, 8, or 9 years, recognize some of our successful clients. In fact, we just simply call it the Client Recognition Event. We hold it in the Conference Center at Kent State University at Stark, which is our host. That's where our SCORE office and conference rooms are located. Mm-hmm. And we invite selected clients to come in and talk about how they've been successful and how SCORE has helped them grow their businesses, add jobs, and otherwise strengthen the area community.
Talk about some of those Hall of Famers. Can you mention some of the
yes, we can. I mean, again, all the counseling we provide is confidential, but we can always go to a client and say, "How would you like us to recognize you publicly for your success?" Well, we've never had someone say no. In fact, for that, we publicize that recognition event, and we invite those successful clients to bring to the event, samples of their products or their product or service literature or whatever it happens to be. So a range. We've had builders, we've had manufacturers, we have had retailers, we've had service firms, we've had a handful of nonprofits. We've had a website design firm, just a whole range of firms. People that they have to be able to demonstrate to us that they have been successful, but they typically are also clients with whom we've been close enough, long enough to know that they're doing well. They can report, well, we've added this many jobs, or we've seen a 50% increase in sales over the last 24 months. But we want some evidence that they, in fact, are sustaining some success.
Mm-hmm. We're speaking with Mike Johnson. He's with SCORE. You're a counselor with SCORE. You have held numerous positions.
Yes. As so often happens with volunteer organizations, you can get asked pretty soon after joining to take on a leadership position, and that happened with me. I at my second chapter meeting, I was asked to stand for election as a chapter officer. So I served 5 or 6 years, I guess, as a chapter secretary, vice chairman, and then SCORE headquarters came along and asked me to serve as a district director overseeing chapters in a couple states. I did that for 3 years. And then I said, I'd really like to go back and do what I said I joined SCORE to do. So, yes, I'm doing more counseling now. I still participate in conducting some of the workshops and certainly help with marketing the chapter. And in fact, I'd like to take just a moment to talk about why people join SCORE, because we are, in fact, always looking for experienced business people of all stripes to consider joining us.
Mm-hmm.
We welcome people, both genders, all races.
That was my very next question.
Yeah, so why should people join and stay? Well, most of us actually enjoy the business world. And with SCORE, we can stay connected to it without being totally immersed in it, as we were during active business careers. Mm-hmm. Well, we like seeing the light shine in a SCORE client's eyes when they're seeing more clearly how they're going to succeed. That's also very gratifying. Most of us are also eager to be giving back to the community, and I call it the community at large. We don't have to have grown up in this area to want to give back, because we recognize that wherever we've spent our career, it's been the support of a community that's contributed to any success that we've earned. Another thing, the fourth thing, is we occasionally learn from our clients. We might have someone come in with a product or a service, and we're not familiar with that. What we can do is apply our expertise in terms of management, in terms of different skill sets. But we learn from some of these clients, and then we can apply what we've learned to still other clients. And the fifth reason is simply what I call the camaraderie. We're good people. We're nice people. We like working together. I mentioned earlier we form teams to work with clients. We also have 2 or 3 social events a year where we have a chance to get together in a relaxed environment and learn more deeply about each other personally. Mm-hmm. So those are the reasons why I think it's attractive to be a member of SCORE.
Have you seen yet someone who benefited from SCORE, had a successful business, and then want to give back and become a counselor themselves?
Yeah, actually, one of our clients, one of our SCORE members, came to us as a client, had a particular need, which we were able to satisfy. And it wasn't long thereafter that I met with him and said, look, in counseling you, we learned that you possess a certain body of expertise that we would find valuable. How about joining our chapter? And that was at least 5 years ago that he joined us after having been a client.
Wow, very cool. Yeah. We need to take a break. Talking with Mike Johnson from SCORE. We'll be back with much more after these words. You're listening to Our Community.